Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. My name is Jordan, the Millennial Investor, and in today's video we're going over what I consider Amazon's hidden giant. Many people only like to think of Amazon as this big company, this big e-commerce company that sells lots of products online and ships them directly to your doorstep. Well, I have news for you. The reason why I'm an investor, if we hop over here to my portfolio, my largest position is Amazon, and the reason why I'm a shareholder and why I'm so bullish and a big believer in this company has nothing to do with them shipping products, nothing to do with their e-commerce business. That's great, it's a good side hustle in my opinion, but the reason why I own this is that if I segment all this other stuff out and I leave it just to this little purple category here, it's AWS. AWS is what I consider to be the hidden giant of Amazon. For years, I knew Amazon as this company that shipped products, but I had no idea what AWS was and what they did and how profitable it truly was. So in today's video, we're going to give an example case. I want to make this a multi-part series where I give examples of many companies. There are many big companies that use Amazon Web Services strictly to run their business. They run the backbone of their companies off of them, including companies like CrowdStrike, Salesforce, Netflix, Splunk, and many others. And today I want to take a deep dive into CrowdStrike. What is this company? What does it do? How does it operate? And how does it use AWS to grow its entire business? And keep in mind, this is a $47 billion company built off the back of AWS. So how does it operate and what is it doing moving forward? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Jordan. I disclose all of my annual performances as well as my current portfolio balance, currently sitting just under $40,000. And this is my performance year to date and over the last month or so. This updates every single month, so we will be getting the September 1st update very soon. And then we also have opportunities down below in the description to get up to $10 for getting signed up for M1 Finance, as well as up to $200 for getting approved for some different credit cards that I have down below, as well as lots of other opportunities. So check out the description. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and let's go ahead and jump straight into CrowdStrike and what this company is. Now, first off, this is a very fast-growing company. This is a company that's been growing its revenue quarter after quarter, record after record. As of the most recent quarter, they came out with $487 million in revenue, now doing about $500 million in revenue every single quarter, and on an annual basis, they're growing even faster. Now, the reason why this is important, the reason why I love to see companies built off of Amazon Web Services like this that are building that revenue higher and higher quarter after quarter subscription revenue, is because this is what makes Amazon money. Now let's real quickly just read this paragraph. So if you don't know what CrowdStrike does, they're basically a huge cybersecurity company. It says, we are on a mission to protect our customers from breaches. Their main mission, their mission for the company is literally just to stop breaches. That's it. Nothing more, nothing special, nothing frothy, just to stop breaches. It says here that CrowdStrike was founded in 2011 to reinvent security for the cloud era. Realizing that the nature of cybersecurity problems had changed but solutions had not, we built our CrowdStrike Falcon platform to detect threats and stop breaches. With our Falcon platform, we created the first multi-tenant cloud-native intelligent security solution capable of protecting workloads across on-premise, virtualized, and cloud-based environments running on a variety of endpoints such as laptops, desktop servers, virtual machines, and Internet of Things, or IoT devices. We offer 22 cloud modules on our Falcon platform via a SaaS model, software as a service if you're not aware, that spans multiple large security markets including corporate endpoint security, cloud security, managed security services, security and IT operations, threat intelligence, identity protection, and log management. So that's all the fancy way of saying this company does cybersecurity and stops breaches for its clients and protects all that important data. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the challenge. I won't read this all. I'm just going to briefly read some little key bullet points here. It says the challenge for them is to stop cyber attacks. CrowdStrike relies heavily on machine learning to analyze data for Falcon Host, the SaaS endpoint protection solution designed to integrate seamlessly into customer environments. Using Apache Spark, the open-source big data processing engine, CrowdStrike performs feature extraction of machine learning and workloads to classify event data from Falcon Host. Quote, we use machine learning and behavioral analysis techniques to get the full context of what an attacker is trying to do and give customers a deeper understanding of what's going on. Pretty confusing, right? If you're not big into the cybersecurity space, it's probably a little hard to understand. But here's what is easy to understand. If we go down here that says, Why Amazon Web Services? Why AWS? From its founding, CrowdStrike was determined to take advantage of the cloud to revolutionize the security industry by being able to quickly aggregate threat information and deliver groundbreaking new protection for customers. Without the scalability and performance challenges of on-premises solutions, quote, if you're a startup and you're not in the cloud, you're already behind the competition. Quote, we knew cloud could help us spin up resources that when we needed them, pivot where we had to go, and not use capital expenditures to build out our own data centers. Let's pause right there. Where it says not use capital expenditures to build out our own data centers. These are the cost advantages. If we jump over to this part right here, cost savings, okay? It says when it comes to a traditional data center, capacity planning is typically a major challenge. It requires accurately predicting technology needs and procuring equipment typically 6 to 9 months before it's operational. Additionally, companies usually provision 20 to 50% over peak requirements to avoid service outages. With the cloud, organizations pay only for what they need. During periods of low usage, they pay for fewer resources. During periods of peak demand, the system scales to deliver the required performance. Supply and demand are closely matched, eliminating the waste inherent in traditional data center models. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's break that down. Basically, this company would have two choices. They could spend billions of dollars to build out data centers, start it from scratch, hire out these big manufacturing companies to help build it, pay lots of money to build out these resources, or they could pay a monthly fee to AWS and it's all done overnight. Sign some paperwork, start the billing month over month, and you're done. And guess what? It's actually cheaper because one, they don't have to build everything from scratch. Two, Amazon Web Services or AWS has some of the lowest prices in the industry. They actually do have the lowest prices in the industry most of the time in most scenarios. And also, it's going to cost them cheaper because it's usage based. If there's times where they're going lower and they don't have as much usage, guess what? They only pay for what they use. And this what shows how Amazon Web Services is able to grow internally within a secular business that may or may not only need one product, can eventually expand to other different products that it offers. For example, CrowdStrike initially began using EC2 or Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud for instances with its Falcon host environment. The company also chose later to run Spark implementation in Elastic Map Reduced or Amazon EWR, a web services that simplifies big data processing by providing a managed big data framework. CrowdStrike pushes data from its sensors to Amazon Simple Storage Service or Amazon S3 and then uses Amazon EMR with Spark to produce hundreds of thousands of terabytes of event data and roll it up into higher level behavioral descriptions on the host. Now you see what I'm talking about here. It just gave examples how it moves into multiple different categories of Amazon's business, okay? And I want to show this down and actually break it down for you. This gives you an idea. This is from AWS. It says connecting Falcon Discover with your AWS account. It uses AWS CloudFormation and follows up with AWS CloudTrail, Amazon S3, which is probably, at least to my knowledge, their largest part of AWS, Amazon Simple Self-Storage, and then Amazon SNS. All different Amazon products. Every single thing that CrowdStrike is using is Amazon, 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 AWS, 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 okay? And this shows you an actual picture of what this type of stuff looks like using products like Amazon Guard Duty, Amazon Inspector, Amazon Macy, and other third-party providers to bring AWS Security Hub going into Amazon CloudWatch events and then going into its target options for the Falcon platform on CrowdStrike. Now, I could keep going, and I'm not going to read this line by line, but you get the point. The point is, CrowdStrike is fast growing. CrowdStrike is built off the cloud. CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company that has a very important job, but has lots of scalability issues. The larger that they grow, which as of now is growing quite substantially, the larger they grow, it harder it becomes for them to scale. Let's give an example. 2017, this company was doing $50 million in revenue. For them trying to build out their own operation wouldn't have been too terribly hard. It was still not easy, but when they initially went public, they were only doing $50 million in revenue. 2018, they did $118 million in revenue, over doubled in size in 1 year. What about the following year? Well, I hate to tell you, but they doubled again in 2019. Next year, they went to 481 million, about doubled again, and then they grew not quite at double, but what is that? Maybe 60-70% up to 874 million. And then last year in 2022, they put up 1.45 billion. In a 5-year span, this company grew to where it was barely doing $100 million in revenue to now they're doing 1.5 billion. They have literally from 2018 to 2022 have literally over 10x their revenue in 5 years. That is absolutely crazy. That is a massive uproar in growth. And maybe in 2017, if they wanted to build out their own revenue streams, their own infrastructure, they could have done it. But going here to 2022, it becomes less and less of a viable option because imagine how many servers needed to be built out from 2017 and 2018. Not quite as bad. But what about here in 2022? $1.45 billion in annual revenue, and that is growing by the quarter. This year, they're probably going to put up $2 billion plus in revenue, right? So what can this company do to scale? It could either try to build out infrastructure from scratch, which it's not going to do, because one, that would cost a fortune. This company has cash on the balance sheet, don't get me wrong, but $2 billion is probably not enough to fully build out start to finish, and their shareholders wouldn't like it because in the meantime, they'd be footing the bill instead of just using AWS. And so you have companies like this, like CrowdStrike. You have companies like Netflix that are growing quarter after quarter, record after record, or companies like Salesforce that continually have SaaS businesses that grow to record levels every single quarter. Well, every time one of their revenue numbers go up, guess what also goes up? It's this AWS number. That's why every single quarter you have this going up, but meanwhile the profitability is massive. If we hop over to my little sheet here for Amazon and you look at the profit margins for just AWS, not the rest of its business, but just AWS, if you look at this category right here that I'm highlighting, as of 2022, in the first quarter, it had 35% profit margins at $6.5 billion of profit, not revenue, profit. And its quarter two, it came in at $5.7 billion of profit, coming in at 29%. If you want to look at that on an annual basis, the last year revenue for AWS of profit, last year's profit of AWS came in at 30% margins with $18.5 billion in revenue. I keep on saying revenue. $18.5 billion in profit. Sorry about that. So with Amazon currently producing $18 billion in profit, growing every quarter, this year they're going to do well over $20 billion plus, probably about $25 billion. It's getting to the point where they can almost just buy out this entire company by itself. CrowdStrike, if they wanted to, they could buy it out tomorrow because it's so massive. But guess what? They don't have to, because every single day, every single quarter that CrowdStrike brings on a new customer and grows this revenue, guess who benefits? AWS. Guess who owned AWS? Me. Amazon Web Services is extremely profitable, while a company like this is not. Look at the last year. This company has produced negative EPS every year that it's been in business. Negative 63, negative 83, negative 80. You get the point. But meanwhile, AWS is making dollar after dollar off this company's back of its growth every single quarter. So this is just one example of one company out of many, many, many different companies that's built off the back of AWS. And if AWS were to ever raise its prices, do you think this company would leave? I don't think so. Because when you built your entire business, when you rely 100% off of one service to run your entire economy, what are you going to do? Leave? I don't think so. And if you do, it'll be very time consuming, very expensive. And that's why I think AWS has one of the strongest moats of any business I've ever seen. Because when you build your entire business off of it, you have no choice but to leave. And the only thing that could maybe stop AWS in the future is maybe some type of government breakup, maybe some type of regulation that is a monopoly. But other than that, guys, I don't really see any scenario where AWS can stop companies from growing like a CrowdStrike that have a great compelling offering and a mad wide economic moat. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe down below. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. Check out stuff down below in the description like we mentioned before. But other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys next time.